Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Brunson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right, you tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast, where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, my guy?
Man, can't call it, man. We had one episode last week, but glad to be back. Honestly, I'm still in mourning at the
Yeah,
moment
absolutely.
with
Absolutely.
for the events that occurred on February 11th
Yeah.
between the hours of 6:30 and like 10:30.
Right.
But I'm recovering, man. You know what I'm saying? Uh, But yeah, I mean, I'll survive. I'll survive. I'm good. But anyway, enough about me, man. How you doing, man? How you feeling? Everything good with you?
Oh man, doing good, doing great, man. Just constantly working. I too am scarred. You know what I'm saying? On the same day, same time, same event. Thanks to fucking the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. So yeah, if I see you in the streets, nigga, you know what it is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But
Hey, hey, you sound like Shannon Sharp and Mike Epps.
oh nah, nah,
When I
not
see
that
you in
type
the
of shit.
street.
Yeah, not that type of shit. But I do feel like Booker T when he was on wrestling. He told that nigga Hulk Hogan, "I'm coming for you, nigga." Yeah. So, man, I you know what I'm saying, we took some time off, it was a holiday for us, Super Bowl Sunday. As it actually should be a federal holiday in America. We need to find a petition or something to sign about that, but that's for another story. So, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you the Black Mirror episode. We've been talking about this for a while now.
Oh yeah,
Bless me, excuse
bless
me.
you.
Thank you, sir. We've been talking about this for a while now, man. This is one of my favorite shows on Netflix. This is an anthology series that they put together, and it has been um nothing short of spectacular. I don't know if a lot of people have watched this or did their due diligence to check this show out, but I mean this is up there with the Stranger Things and the You and all those other Netflix original shows. So excuse me, nonetheless, we went back, you know what I'm saying, we went through the catalog that they have on there, checked out some episodes, um and just to do a quick refresher, uh to me, I think the best thing about being able to do stuff like this is the fact that you get to binge the whole thing. I love binging. But
Mhm.
I'm a serial binger now. You know what I'm saying? I was cool with appointment TV. I loved it, but now I'm a serial binger, bro. So thanks to Netflix and all the streaming apps, if you put anything out and I have to and I have to wait to the next week to watch it, unless we have to do it for this show, I'm not gonna watch it until everything is over with. I don't want to see one episode and have to keep
Yeah.
waiting. Nah, I'm sorry. I am an admitted serial binger.
Yeah, I'm in the middle on that because there's a few shows that I'm doing that too right now, which I get into on what we're watching on the next episode. But I mean, I like to binge things as well, especially when I got the time. I haven't been having like as much time as I used to because I've been working more
Right,
this last year and everything.
right.
So I don't be having like that whole Saturday like I used to have because I be having to work. But yeah, I like binging as well. And I think the thing about this series, because me honestly, I feel like this is like the series that really like yeah, because this was before Orange is the New Black. This was the one that really kind of gave
Hmm.
Netflix that it wasn't a lot of different streams places to stream at that time, but
Right.
like this is what a lot of people was ended up signing up for.
Yeah.
Netflix was Black Mirror, and Black Mirror is just one of those futuristic things where it really gets you thinking, and it's kind of like looking back and seeing that the first season was in the 2011, and it's like when you're looking at some of the stuff, and it's like, damn, like some of these things you can kind of see end up could possibly be happening in the
Yeah.
future, but then there's also some other things that we ain't quite there yet, but psychologically we are there because
Yeah.
there are two episodes that really stood out to me that I get into later in the pod,
Mhm.
but there's one of them that's like, yo, like this shit is happening, believe it or not, like right now, but it's just happening in a different way.
I think I know
And
exactly which one you're talking about too. It's the one with Bryce.
oh god, yes,
Oh man, that was that
yes,
was a that was a
nosedive.
that was a great episode.
It was, and it's just like you can see that shit.
Yeah.
Like we ain't all the way there, but we
I
halfway
mean,
there.
not for nothing. We really are.
Yeah, I'm just meaning like you know rating each other on. Okay, you know what? You brought it up like we're there. Like first
Yeah.
and foremost, first and foremost, Bryce Dallas Harvard. Now
Oh man.
Howard. Now we were supposed to do run how we keep pushing them off, and I
Yeah.
remember saying, out of all the great movies and all the great content he's done, in
Greatest
my
thing he
eyes,
created.
this is the greatest thing he created.
Greatest creation.
It's Dallas Bryce Harper.
Greatest
I keep
creation.
saying Harper Howard. Yo, she is something else. But so basically, the concept of the show is people are being judged off of social media,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like Instagram, like on Jose Canseco, like the shit.
Nah, you know what this really is though?
What's up?
And when I rewatched it, I thought about this. This shit is like Yelp for life.
Yes,
That's really what it is. It's like
but
Yelp for
it's
life.
yeah, it really is because the thing is that this shit affects where you can stay, what
Yep.
car you can rent,
Yep.
whether you can get it first class or not.
Yep.
It's all about likability.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but what was so crazy about it was people are getting judged by the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
So what ends up happening is everybody is completely fake
Yeah.
except the people that got low score because they're like, and it was great to show that she had a brother who was like, he was like in a 2 or a 3, but he was like, yo, I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he sees like, yo, you're not yourself. This is not you. Like you're
Right.
being a fake version of yourself so
Right.
you can fit in to a certain society. And he's like, I'm not fitting into that society.
Mm-hmm.
And the greatest thing about this show was the one truck driver lady. That was the greatest thing about this whole episode was the truck driver lady. Cause she was like, yo, I used to be that
Yeah.
until she found out that her husband had cancer, went
Mm-hmm.
in to get some medicine or whatever, but because her husband was like 1 point off, like he needed to be like a 4.7 and he was like a 4.6 and he
Yeah.
wasn't able to get his treatment and he dies. And
Right.
that's when she's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
this. And it's just to think that being judged off interaction, like you can't have a bad day. Like it's so crazy, man. But we see people on social media who only post good things.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Drake. Drake said it in oh man, I can't remember. It was on the Scorpion album. I do remember
Mm-hmm.
that. I can't remember exactly what the song it was. But he was like, I know girls who, what I'm saying, fly to a place and just go there to take pictures.
Yeah.
Not even really looking at nothing. Just going to take pictures. Don't even enjoy, being out of the country, just taking pictures
Right.
so she could put it on the ground and everybody else can see it. Then he was like, I know girls who save pictures in their phone and post
Yep.
them shits later.
Yep.
And it's like everybody's looking for the likes. Everybody's looking for that viral moment. And what this episode was really showing us was like, yo, like if we don't stop worrying about like our perception on social media, like we're gonna end up losing ourselves, like who we are, who we naturally are. And it was just like so crazy to go back and watch this one because this one aired in 2016.
Yeah,
And
that
to
was
go back,
That was episode 1 of season 3.
Yeah, and to
Yeah.
go back and watch it, it's like, yo, and then like the whole wedding thing, like because now it's like, people marry people for, multiple reasons, whether it's you in love with them, financial reasons, uh, class reasons, like all types of shit like that. In this shit, you're just marrying somebody who got a high score and can keep a high score.
Hmm.
It's like the fuck, like it's weird, but we're really heading there, man. I don't know, man. Like, what are some of your thoughts that you picked up on this episode of Nosedive?
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm with you. You actually made a great point when you talked about how people are doing it for the likes, and you know what I'm saying, for the perception, right? But if you really watch this episode a little bit deeper, you'll see that this is why I say we're already here. Because if you take out the rating system of that whole thing, you take out the social media of it, we've always been like this, right? Because this is really just an episode about class. You know what I'm saying? The class system. This ain't really an episode about, the social media aspect. Of course, that's added in there because that's what the show is about. But this really is just about the class system, which has always been around, right? So the whoever has the higher ratings, of course, is the upper class.
Hmm.
When you in the threes, mid or fours to threes, you're the middle class, and then everybody else below that, the poor class, is twos and below, right? And so to have access to certain things and to have all that, usually the fours and the fives or the high fours and the fives are usually the famous people and the celebrities, and what I'm saying, the rich people. So I mean, that's why I said we're already here. This is what we see every day. The reason that I said that, to me it felt like Yelp for life, was because, remember, at a point in time, Yelp was like a major thing.
Hmm.
I don't know how many people that listen to this actually know what Yelp is, or I know the age bracket, of course, because there we got the analytics and everything, but I don't know if everybody like messed with Yelp. But Yelp was a thing where, like, when you went into a restaurant and you told people, like, like you're a Yelp reviewer, yo, you got
Hmm.
the red carpet treatment. We seen the same thing with Keith Lee. You know what I'm saying? When Keith Lee comes to restaurants, yo, people are pulling out the stops. So when Yelp was out, it was like, if you were a certified Yelp reviewer, like, yo, you could go in there and get you know what I'm saying, the piece de resistance. And they was like, yo, whatever you need, we got you. Just give us a good Yelp review. Because it was people that were following people on there to see, what hotel to go to, what restaurant to go to, what's the best place to shop in this area. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were really, or not even that, it was who's the best realtor in town. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were on Yelp, like, it really mattered. So to see that kind of like play out in real life on this, I mean, it made sense. If you look at it, like, you know, as far as what we do, right, with podcasting, the more numbers that we get, the more likes that we get, the more people that we get to follow us, the more people that we get to, thumbs up and subscribe and all this other stuff, we get access to so many other different things in this industry. But you know what I'm saying, especially compared to where we are now, right? So like now we kind of doing everything on our own. We doing this. If somebody endorses us, or if people start liking and the numbers start going up, I'm sure we'll start getting phone calls. I'm sure we'll start getting emails or getting hit on socials. Like, that's just the way it works. I never understood. Even like when I was younger, I would realize and like pay attention to like celebrities. Like, celebrities get stuff for free. And I'd be like, why would you give something for free to the person who got the most money? It don't make sense. Until I got
Right.
older and realized, oh, because if they have it, everybody else is gonna want to go out and get it. And
Yeah.
so, you know what I'm saying? Like, I started to see, like, that's how things work. And this episode is a perfect view of that. This episode shows you, like, this is not just how it's gonna end up. Like, this is where we are at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't ask, If you making a skit on YouTube, you're not gonna ask just a random chick to come on there. Nah, you trying to get the most, you know what I'm saying, influential person to get on there, because now that audience is coming to you, you know what I'm saying, that's going to help you boost your numbers up, so on and so forth, more money for you, so, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, this is one of those things where I'm like, I get it. I definitely get it. I think this episode is an eye opener for sure, especially for people who, you know what I'm saying, are like the average everyday citizen, just using your phone for everything, using laptops for everything, using tablets for everything. You know what I mean? Like that's how it's going.
Yeah, man. And like I said, man, like, yeah, they took it a little bit more futuristic because it's like, for instance, she went to get a coffee or whatever, right? So
Mhm,
for the people who may never seen this episode, or just refresh your memory. So she go to the coffee shop, she sees the dude, tell him what he want, dude give it to her. She put a phone in his face and she give him a rating. He give
mhm.
her a rating. So it's just like, now the people who are, mid to high 4 or 5, in the fours, if they give you a 5 or 4, your score go up.
Oh,
But if
instant
somebody is,
instant boost, instant boost.
yeah. But if you come across a person who's like in the twos or the threes, they give you a 5. It don't really do much
Right.
because they are lower, lower scale. But then, like I said, it was one time she went there, she was doing good, and next thing you know, she bumped into this lady, and then the score go like, and then the girl got dinged at them at the airport, and my
Mhm.
man hit her with a thing that dropped her a whole point, and she
Oh,
dropped down to the
sick.
threes.
She was sick.
Yeah, and then they got to a point where you can't cuss in public no more.
Mhm.
And it's like that's another thing that's kind of low key in this episode.
Yeah.
So it's like it's it's but then she went to rent a car,
Mhm.
but because she was so low, they put her in a car that like
Oh,
that shit ain't even compatible with the
but they
shit that
put
they
her
even
in. They
using
put her in the
anymore.
first Tesla ever made.
Yeah, like that was wild, but like,
Yeah.
and then she couldn't charge it because it was so old that they
Yep.
don't even have those portal things anymore.
Yep.
And they was like, well, did you get you got to have like kind of like when you got like a certain key for like the change when you
Yeah. She
change your
needed that.
tires, like some adapter. I couldn't think of yet, and
Yeah.
she didn't have the adapter, so she couldn't charge it. So
Yep.
it's just like it, essentially it's just you have to be fake. And then like her one friend who invited her to the wedding, the only reason she invited her to the wedding is because she knew that first of all, at the time she was like a 4-2 or something like that.
Mhm.
So she was like, all right, so you in the fours, and she saw her take a picture of this thing that they had made, and then come to realize, like even her brother was like, yo, like you hate her. And
Mhm.
like, why are you acting so fake for this girl? Like, she picked on you all the time, and she fucked your boyfriend.
She fucked Greg.
But yeah, you fucked Greg, and like,
Yeah.
and now you want to go to the wedding because your point advisor told you if you get a whole bunch of people with 4 or 5s, and you just have like a big day, and she wanted to use that wedding because she wanted to move into this one fucking neighborhood
Mhm.
where they use a fake projection of this black man that's come out and hug you while you cooking and kissing on your neck and shit.
Even
Yo,
in the
that
future,
is
they
a
all want us, man. Even in the future, they all want us. I'm with it. I'm with it. We still a
hey,
commodity, baby.
hey, well, that was a wild projection, yo.
Hey, if you let me tell you something. If you gotta get a high 4 or a 5 to get with me, let's go. I'm not mad at that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not mad at that.
Yo, no, did you see the one part? We can move on, but did you see the one part when the one black dude, he was like a 3-1 or something like
Oh
that, and
man,
he
because he
had
broke up. He broke up with his partner.
yeah, and everybody took the other part, the person's side. He brought those smoothies in, and she took that shit and didn't know, and then everybody
Everybody
started
was
digging
like,
her down.
yeah, I was like, whoa, what are you doing? Yeah, wrong side, man. But that's what I'm saying, bro. That's exactly how this shit is, right? Like, think about this. Kim and Kanye.
Hmm.
Kanye go off the rails. Start
Yep.
talking crazy about Kim. Da, da, da. Niggas look at you sideways if you still fuck with Kanye now. You could fuck with Kim. Kim done did all the wild shit in the world. She's still cool. You know what I'm saying? She's still the it girl. But if you fuck with Kanye, nah, nah, you gonna get dinged. Trust me. You gonna take a hit in society.
Oh yeah. So I just thought that that was one of those episodes where it's like it's not far fetched, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not far fetched because, like I said, and you said it as well. We halfway there.
Hmm.
Only difference is we just ain't, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to the point where we can put a phone up to your face and give you a rating right off the rip. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's wild, man.
It's
It's
getting there
definitely
though.
wild.
It's getting
Yeah,
there though. We get
it's getting there.
we've been using facial recognition for a while, so don't be shocked if that's the next thing that come in 2028. Um, so this is a show that spans 6 seasons, um, which is weird because the show doesn't like this isn't like a normal set show, right? The
Hmm.
usually shows will have like 8 to 10 episodes a season. You know what I'm saying? They'll have a nice little run, and then you know that's how they get down. The first season only had 3 episodes.
Yep.
That's how crazy this is. The first season only has 3 episodes. It starts off with one of the wildest episodes ever to be made for TV. It's set in, I believe, England, and the
Yep.
princess gets kidnapped, and the prime minister has to basically have sexual relations with a pig on national television
National TV.
to
Yep.
free the princess, only to find out that the princess gets freed before all of this shit happens. So he still ends up doing this with the pig, even though the princess is freed, right? Then you get the second episode, 15 Million Merits, which to me was one of the best. Shout out to Daniel Kaluuya, who was the star in this episode. And basically it was like a slave camp, and you was forced to watch ads all day. You was forced to watch ads all day and like earn your way out of, you know what I'm saying, the workforce or whatever, to become like a, you know what I'm saying, a star, which is to me their way of talking about like YouTube, the way YouTube was going on at the time. Because basically like people was going and doing as much as they could to get on YouTube to become a star, and then once they did, it was just like the shit that they was doing was ludicrous, right? And
Hmm.
then we get to the entire history of you.
Oh, now
Um
that's the other one that I was
yeah,
gonna
which is
single out.
it's a very interesting episode because it's about the people with these implants, and it basically like records your memory and catalogs your memories. And this dude, he just got this weird feeling about his girl after this night that they have, you know, like they go out with friends or whatever, and they had his night, and it's this dude, he like, yo, what is so special about this motherfucker that you know, you all giddy about? And come to find out, you know what I'm saying, he peeping game, he like, nah, something ain't right. He find out that dude and no girl been sleeping together behind his back, even after she lied, and he, you know, he ends up committing murder and all these other things. But um the crazy part about this episode is I think they blocked his vision or some shit like that.
Hold on. Which
No,
one? Which one?
he
No,
took the implant out.
no. Well, I get at the end because
Yeah.
yeah, at the end. But yeah, like so basically, what he ended up doing, how like so he had a job interview somewhere, and like and he, you know, he kept playing that shit back of like, you know, if they're interested in me, they're not interested in me, and all this type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came home early, and she didn't expect him to be there, and the dude that she was sleeping with, he saw it like right off rip, and he kept watching it over.
Something was off.
Like, yeah, he tried to do the read lips thing,
Mm-hmm.
all that shit. Like, what the fuck they talking about? Like you said, like she all giddy, and there was one girl at the party who didn't have the implant, and she was
Mm-hmm.
just like, "Yo, like life is just better this way." I don't really want to get into all of that. But anyway, the whole thing was, but dude, like you said, he was hung up on like, why is this dude so, funny to you? And then he invited dude to the house, and she was like, he could just tell like he was really trying to play her. He was doing it the old school way of
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, like I see that there's some kind of chemistry between y'all, but I just can't put my finger on it. So he goes over to the dude's house drunk as fuck after he kept playing that night over and over and over. And he brought the babysitter in and was like, yo, like, do you find anything funny here?
Yeah.
And the lady was like, no, but he kept reminding it, and she laughing like crazy. He was like, obviously there's something going on. He goes over to the dude's house, and the fucking guy, he gets him to bring up his memories and shit.
Yeah.
And so when he gets home, he's all sad and shit. And then he shows her what he saw, and then zoomed in on it, and you saw the painting in their house.
Yeah.
So
In
she
his
was
bedroom.
fucking dude in the bed 18 months earlier.
Yep.
And it's just like, then you get to thinking, like, because like watching this, the thing is, it's like, if you like, it'll be really tough to be in a relationship in these times. Because
Shit, you keep your goddamn eyes closed.
you
You keep your eyes closed, you ain't got to worry about nothing. You turn to Ray Charles in this motherfucker, you good. Tell you one person who could get away with murdering that motherfucker. Shit.
Man, you want to know how many girls gonna be out here? Show me your day to day.
Oh man.
Can you imagine it?
You think
Like, show
if
me
you
your day
think,
to day.
bro, if you think a chick going through your phone is tragic, wait till
Yeah.
she get your remote and make you post that shit on the screen. Oh man, you out of there, brother. And you got
Hey,
that shit. That shit you caught. What they say, caught in 4K. You caught in 4K. You done for, bro. Because you
yo,
got POV everything
they came home and watched the whole day with the babysitter
through the
with their baby
baby's
because they put the
eyes,
chip in
bro.
the baby.
That's
Yo,
crazy.
that is crazy as fuck, man.
But you know
Can
what's
you
crazier than that
imagine
though,
what?
bruh? The AirPod. What is the Apple Air Visions or whatever, the Pro Vision or whatever? That's
Oh,
basically what this is. Have you seen the trailer for that?
I haven't actually.
No,
I
don't get me
haven't.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I seen this episode and I thought the whole time this shit is fire. Like with the capabilities that could possibly work with this, that's all right. The Apple, the Vision Pro things do the same thing. Like, you know how they was bringing stuff up and like they don't need no TV and shit? That's basically the same thing. You
Yeah.
put the goggles on, it turn your whole wall to a damn screen.
Damn.
Let me tell you something. If they find a way to connect this to an Xbox, it's over, bro. It's over. Count me in. You hear me? Count me the fuck in. I'm with it.
Yo, that's wild. That's wild as fuck. But like, man, you wouldn't be able to, cause like the thing is, if you like, I ain't replaying shit, and then next thing you know, you gonna hear that shit.
Guilty.
Like how he was, that's how
Yeah.
it's gonna be
You
all
guilty.
day, every day.
No. Why don't you want to? Why don't you want to go through your memories, nigga? You busted. I know you was with her. I know you was with her. Yeah, that's a setup. That is a
And
setup.
then it ain't even really just that. Like even your kids and shit. Like, can you
Oh
imagine? Like,
man.
your kids come home. They either got in trouble or something, or let's not even use trouble. Let's just say they go in, they fail a test, right?
Mm-hmm.
You studied for this test? Yep. All right.
Yeah,
So
play it back. Let me see. Play it back. Let me see. Yeah, nah,
Let me see.
you can't do nothing. It's absolutely. I think that it's some great capabilities of this, right? For instance, you can watch movies now. Nobody can walk in front of the screen. I'm with that.
Oh, okay. Well, let me. All right. It's gonna be interesting to hear what you say here,
Yeah.
because depending on the situation, this could be better.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see when him and his wife was having sex?
Yeah.
That wasn't really having sex.
No.
They was playing it over of them having sex.
Yeah. But see, so it's a dead giveaway too, though, because your eyes turn gray.
Yeah.
So if she into it and you playing back, you know what I'm saying, some chick you hit in college, You know what I
No,
mean?
no, no. That's how they like. They wasn't
No, I
physically
know
touching each
I'm
other.
saying I know they both were. I'm saying like if as a person that's using it, you know what I'm saying, you meet a new chick and then you know what I'm saying, here you are, you doing a thing, she loving, you know, she enjoying herself, and then she look up and your eyes gray. She'll be like, whoa, wait a minute, what you looking at? Like you supposed to be enjoying me, motherfucker, not the video you got, not the memory you got loaded up. You know what I'm saying? It's some trouble.
Yeah, but all right. I see what you're saying, but I feel like, well, from what they showed us, I don't know if like if it's like this, like I know that they physically have sex because they got a kid.
Yeah, I mean they
But
showed
in
you that
this,
too, yeah.
yeah, but in this situation, both of their eyes was gray. They wasn't.
Yeah,
It's kind of like the Coneheads. Like in the movie Conehead, they just touched
yeah,
each other's fucking heads and they was having sex.
right.
So it was kind of that situation where you're not
Which is
physically
crazy,
doing
by the
it.
way. That's a wild ass. It is.
You talking
Never
about
mind. Go ahead.
Coneheads?
Yeah, just don't even worry about it. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But what I said was like, for instance, right?
Hmm.
If you could just replay the section, you get the same sensation. Like
Oh,
everything
without
is
having to do
completely,
that?
yeah, without having to actually
Oh,
do
count
it.
me in.
That's what I'm saying, because it's
Yeah.
really kind of
What?
dope. You get to have your best sex every time.
Yeah. What?
You know what I'm saying? There's no mess.
We
You
all
ain't get
had.
pregnant.
We all had that one night we wanted to relive. Yeah. Count me in.
Yeah. And it's like you could just replay, both of you could replay the same sex, and then
Yeah.
you nut, the nut feel the same. Like, what's the
Hey
point of even
man,
doing this shit
not
no more
even that.
anymore?
No, forget that. Not even that, bro. You don't even have to go out and hunt no more. Yeah, what? Job done. Once you get that one, job is done. You good for life. Yeah, count me in.
Yo, that shit is wild. Like I said, like it was some perks to it, but then it was just like some shit was like, all right,
Yeah,
man, it's like this
definitely
shit
had its
going a
pros
little
and
too far.
cons for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like that's what Black Mirror does, man. I think they did such a great job of coming
hmm
up with like these certain concepts, like
yeah.
these futuristic concepts, where it's like where it really get your brain going. Like, oh shit, can you imagine
Oh
if
man,
things were this way, or you see certain things heading in that direction,
yeah.
and it just really they kind of got like the future like right before your eyes, and like you said, like the whole ad thing, like
hmm
everything is fucking ads now.
Yeah, literally. Yeah,
Like you can't really watch anything without
without
ads.
seeing
Like
ads or
even
paying for
even
or paying a lot of money not to see them.
yeah, and like just like even what I'm saying, got IMDb sitting right here. There's an ad at the top of the fucking screen. Like they're everywhere
You
now.
yo, time out. You know what I just thought about,
What's up?
bro? What if right? You can get the implant. What if like Super Bowl just happened, bro? You could be on the sideline watching the Super Bowl
I
without
mean,
being there.
that's what they saying that the Oculus shit is.
Yeah, could
You,
no, yeah, you can do that with the NBA. Did you see that? Have you seen that?
yeah, yeah.
You talking about fire, bro? I can go to a game and I can sit courtside and not sit courtside. Count me in
Yo, that's crazy. But they were talking about charging people
for the
that
courtside
way.
seats.
Yeah, and with the Oculus.
Oh yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Never mind. Nah.
Dude, they were talking about
Okay,
that
wait, wait,
shit.
wait, 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 wait. You mean like you mean like a subscription, or you mean like you buy the seat at the game?
I think you buy the seat, but I mean obviously I don't think it's the price,
Right.
but
Of course, yeah, of course.
like if
Nah, man,
if
nah,
like
because let me tell you, if I do right, if I do buy a seat and say courtside is sold out and I gotta sit in the nosebleeds with the Oculus on, I might as well just watch it on TV. That's
well, no,
crazy.
well, I don't think it'll work that way. I think it's more like, okay, if you want to like real course, I don't know how much it's five. Let's just say 5,000, right?
Yeah,
So it's 5,000 for Jack Nicholson to sit there. All
right.
right, and the Oculus,
It might
like,
be like 100
yeah, like $500,
to watch the
and
game
it's just like,
courtside. I ain't
yeah,
mad.
and it's like, yeah, because they were talking about that. I think that because you're not quote unquote there, I think
Yeah,
multiple people can get the
sit in the
same
same
view. Is
seat.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that's why I
don't
don't
know
think
about
it'd be
that one though.
sold out. But yeah, it's
I gotta see some function with that first because I don't know if I'm buying the seat to watch a regular game courtside. You know what I'm saying? Because like I heard you could see like other people that's in the like watching the game with you and shit.
you know, all of that shit is weird, man. Like this
I don't
whole
know, man.
virtual
It's
world.
fire for me.
I don't know, man. That
Like
shit is
the like okay, so like remember the whole NFT craze, right?
yeah,
Well, somebody that I was talking to, they do like computer programming and graphic design and all that different stuff. And they were saying how like with the whole thing that Meta was doing with the Oculus and all this other stuff was they were trying to create like these virtual worlds where people can go to and like say if you knew well like cuz I was making NFTs at one point, right? And people were doing like art pieces. So like there was like these lobbies and stuff that they were trying to build where people can actually literally sell their NFTs and like you can have like a house or something and like you can hang the artwork on the wall or if you had like the NFT Jordans, you could have them, you know what I'm saying, like in your space and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, if that kicks off, that is going to be on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, I felt like that was something that could have took Meta to like a whole different level because it's like now if you think about it, it's so much stuff you can do, and this kind of like plays into the whole Ready Player One thing. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like how they were, but I'm like, yo, that to me, I thought that shit would have been fire, bro. To be able to like buy stuff online and then like you go into, you know, you go into your Oculus and you able to see all the NFT stuff you got. I mean, in a weird way, it's kind of like that's how it is now with video games. Um, because everything is microtransactional, right? Like, so if you play 2K, you're my player, you can buy jerseys and shoes and hats and jewelry and all this other stuff. Or Fortnite, you could buy all kind of different skins and stuff. And that's basically what what I'm saying, you do when you play these video games. Cause there's dudes
Yeah.
that come out, they be playing 2K in like a motorcycle helmet. I'm like, who does that in real life? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, it's like that's not nobody's doing that for real in real life. Like, you'll never get dunked on by a dude in a motorcycle helmet in a pickup basketball game. But on 2K, it'll happen to you at least 6 times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the things that kind of that put me in mind of. But so season one, super successful, right?
Mhm.
Season two, even more successful. But this time you get 4 episodes. Um, still in that futuristic space. The first episode was about cloning.
Yo,
This
that was crazy.
it really was
Be
though.
right back is crazy.
Yeah, it really is. That's a wild concept. I don't know if like I would want that to, you know what I'm saying, be the thing that's popping off. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Um White the second episode, White Bear, is about rehabilitation, a different form of rehabilitation, which to me I felt like that was the weakest episode, kind of, until I see the third episode, the Waldo moment, which is about this like this 3D cartoon puppet thing who ends up like having so many followers and believers and end up being like president and all this goofy shit. It reminded me of the what was the one little puppet dog that used to be always talking crazy at the award shows and shit. It was a person with like a Rottweiler pup. I forgot the name of it, but it used to be like at the MTV Awards show. They had a TV show and shit, but it was a Rottweiler puppet that somebody was using, and then like it became this thing.
Oh, yeah. I
It
don't
had a
remember.
cigar in
Yeah.
his mouth, but it was weird. But that's what that reminded me of, and I felt like that was the weakest episode. But they cleaned it up in the fourth one with White Christmas, which I thought was dope because it was like this. It was uh it was a way of interrogating suspects. and they were using like the whole neural link thing to, you know what I'm saying, like go inside the mind and figure out what was going on so they can actually get the evidence to prove that this person actually committed whatever crime that they were accused of. And I thought that was a pretty cool concept. And then you get into season 3, right? Which we already talked about, Nosedive. Um we get into the second episode, Playtest, which was one of my personal favorites too, because I thought that that was a very interesting concept for a video game. Um, Even though like horror games are real big right now, especially like in the streaming community, if you had to play some shit like that, yo, I don't know if you could come back from that. Like at that point, you got to question what's real and what's not, because that was a wild ass episode. Um,
Yeah.
Shut Up and Dance was also one of my favorite episodes. It was hilarious because you know what I'm saying, we all have all of these different devices and everything else like that. And I remember it really wasn't a short time, but it was like a nice little time where people was just like taping up the cameras on their computers and you know what I'm saying, using their thumbs to cover the cameras on their phones and all that weird stuff. So like anytime you had a camera or whatever, you always covered it up and everything because it was this whole conspiracy thing of like the government is watching you. And even though they definitely are watching you, but they wasn't like
Yeah.
just watching you like that. You know what I'm saying? But that concept was funny because like people were getting blackmailed off of like wild shit they was doing around all of these devices and shit. So but my personal favorite, it was in this season, was San Junipero. I thought that was an exquisite episode. Um San Junipero is basically about terminally ill people. You know what I'm saying? People are that are in nursing homes or in comas or you know what I'm saying, like with dealing with cancer or in hospice and stuff like that. And they basically found a way to take your consciousness and move it into like this hard drive or whatever so you can continue to, you know what I'm saying, like live life or whatever through this, like through these hard drives. And so you could pick like where you want to live, how old you want to look, what area you wanted to be in, and all of these other things. But what ended up happening was these two women ended up having like this super dope friendship that ended up becoming a romance. And the one of the ladies end up, you know, going to see the other one only to find out like this lady has been in a coma since she was in, I think since she was like 21 or something like that. And so this whole time she hasn't been able to move, talk, eat, really do anything. She's just been on life support this whole time. And finally it was, you know what I'm saying, coming up to the time to where she was on her way out, but she didn't have like any real family or anything to, you know, be there for her. Family stopped coming to see her and all the other stuff. And so they ended up like getting married and stuff in real life. So then they ended up living together in the hard drive. And I thought that was a great episode. Um Men Against Fire was a little weird. I did fuck with it though. It was about like the soldier who they were going over there and they were going after these people and terrorists and all that. But then, like when they were seeing the terrorists, they looked like zombies and shit like that, and they were calling them roaches. Only to find out that the implants that they had in was programmed to make them think that. Um, and then he figured it out that that wasn't the case. And then Hated in the Nation um ended up covering out that whole season. Season 4 is it was getting it started to get a little bit better. USS Callister, that was a great episode too. It was about a programmer. He had programmed actual people into this like computer program, and he was just like abusing the shit out of them. So like at work, you know what I'm saying, like didn't nobody really fuck with him. But then he would like
Yeah.
find ways to get their DNA and then put them in the
Put him in the
game.
game.
Yeah, just abuse the shit out of them. Like the one dude, he ended up uh his son left like a sucker or something on his desk. He got mad about it and then like zapped him into the game or zapped his DNA and put the copy of his son in the game. And like he was doing wild shit to his son, like throwing him out in space. He was putting him in the incinerator. Like, it was just a wild ass. It was a wild ass episode, but I thought it was dope because you know what I'm saying the technology that they was using in that one was pretty cool too. Archangel was the next one. That was now this is the one we can definitely talk about too because the implant episode from season 1 that we talked about, this kind of played over into this episode where they gave people who were like having kids or whatever this option, and it was a trial or whatever. They were trying to work on it or whatever, but they gave them the option to have this implant in their kids so they could always see and control and stuff like that what their child does and everything else. It didn't end up passing the trial or whatever, so they shut the program down. But the lady had still, you know, her daughter still had it implanted, and she was able to like censor violence and stuff, so she couldn't see violence or if anything that harmed her or scared her or whatever, it would blur out so she didn't have to see that. She could always check her vital signs. Like it was just a bunch of different things that she could see. Like she could see whatever her daughter's seeing all through a tablet and everything else like that. And you start to when you watch this, you start to understand like how, you know, you can be a little bit too overbearing as a parent. You know what I'm saying? Um, One day her daughter ends up growing up. She's in high school. She said that she gonna go over her friend's house. She end up calling the friend's mom. The mom like, ain't nobody over here, girl. What are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you think going on, but nah, ain't nobody over here. They ain't even here. Now she calling her daughter phone. She calling all her her friends' parents. She can't find her, so she goes to find the tablet. She reactivates the tablet, and now she turns it on, and she sees that her daughter is losing her virginity to her boyfriend. She loses her shit, of course, as every parent would if you find out that's what's going on with your child. So now she's sneaking behind her daughter's back after the program got shut down or whatever. They closed the tablet down and closed the whole thing down. But now she's sneaking behind her daughter's back and she's watching all her moves and everything. So basically, she ends up forcing her boyfriend to break up with her. Um, then the daughter starts hating her, of course. Then next thing you know, she ends up killing her mom and running away with the boyfriend. But it's just a story about how sometimes we can be too overbearing as parents. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to give our kids space to be kids and you know what I'm saying to live their own lives. We can't always like shelter them and shit like that. So I thought that was a pretty cool episode.
I think that one is a very dope episode, and it also is a testament of like, you see a lot of people who, and it's not a bad thing. It's just I just think that certain people just want to do certain things with their kids. Like there's a lot of people who got a bunch of cameras in their house and
Hmm.
always seeing what their kids are doing and. You know what I mean? And now, I mean, technology is there for you to use it and all that type of stuff. But this type of technology was crazy. Like the whole thing of, I remember when I first watched this episode. I haven't watched it since it aired, back in what 2017.
Yeah.
But I remember the one part vividly is when she censored. Like there used to be this dog that used to scare when she was rolling down
Yeah.
the street. Then she started blowing out the dog, and
Hmm.
then she blowed out blood. Now this type of stuff. It's like what the fuck, like there's things where you take it too far. Like just
Yeah.
because a dog scared her don't mean you blur the dog up because then there's a situation where she getting chased by a dog and then
She
it
don't
just
know how
just
to deal
blurry
with it.
bigger. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just super weird. And then like even when she was bleeding, you know what I'm saying? She can't even treat herself as far as
Right.
like a cut on her hand. So it's just like it's like one of those things where it's too far. And then like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the one episode where they watched their baby babysitter the whole day through his eye through the other
Hmm.
baby's eyes. This is the same type of situation where the lady could watch what her whole daughter did that whole day and
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
And it's like that's not cool, man. Like my thing is, if you don't want anybody invading your privacy, even though they're your child, even
Hmm.
though they're your child, you still have to raise them to be adults. Like you have
Absolutely.
to deal with adult things. And it's just like, one thing that they said, I had to take my youngest son to the freshman orientation thing that they had it. And one thing that the principal said that was very dope, which I heard it 2 years ago because I had to take my other son for his freshman
Yeah.
orientation, and he was like, "Yo, like kids are gonna make mistakes, and we
Hmm.
need to let them make mistakes to let them know how to move forward." And he
Right.
was like, "Because you rather them make them now than for them to make them, out in the world, and
Hmm.
let them make the mistake. What I'm saying? Let them overcome that mistake, and then you move forward. But if
Yeah.
you never, but if you're overbearing and you're sitting there like, dude, now the whole little thing about possibly putting chips in kids, as far as for the circumstances of trafficking
Yeah.
or
Missing children and stuff
kidnapping
like
and
that.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Okay, I see that, but don't put no shit in a motherfucker where you can, what I'm saying, see their every move. But see, the problem with that is gonna end up being, well, when the kid starts to get a little older, and you like, hey, where you at? Oh, I'm at such and such. And you go pull up. Nope, that ain't where you at. You at? You
Right.
know what I mean? Then it go get to the point. Yo, I'm taking this shit out of me. Like
Yeah, or
I,
they just gonna rebel in general. They just not gonna care. Like, remember that was the whole thing. Like, as she was getting older, she just started doing things because it was certain things that she wasn't understanding, and so she was acting out, of course, and she didn't know how to handle it, right?
yeah,
And then once she shut everything down, like, yo, she was just becoming a normal teenager. You know what I'm saying? She was just doing normal teenager shit
yeah,
until she brought the thing back and start continuing to invade her privacy. It was just like, yo, it became too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you said, it's certain things that you have to let people experience, and that's because that's the best teacher. You let them go out and see. You can't keep telling the kid, well, if you touch the stove, you're gonna get burnt, it's gonna hurt a lot, until they actually touch it and see, oh shit, that does hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is. Like, and you bring up, you know what I'm saying, your son's orientation. Well, for my son's orientation, what they did was they told us when they was, taking them around the school and meeting the teachers, yo, all the parents had to stay in the auditorium.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you brought them here, that's cool. Let them go and explore this place. Let them experience this place because this is where they're going to be coming to every day. I thought that was a great concept. I'm like, man, that was brilliant because they actually get to go on with themselves and find things themselves and actually problem solve for themselves. We don't, because we're not always going to be there to
yeah.
hold their
We ain't
hand.
gonna be there. Exactly.
Yeah, so this is a time for them to actually see the environment that they're gonna be in every day, see the people that they're gonna be seeing every day. I thought it was a brilliant concept, man. And my, it's just like my son is experiencing everyday things now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's experiencing what it's like to be around people and deal with people. Some people you may not like, and some people you really like. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that. And he's really like coming into his own, but he's also opening up more. He's also, what I'm saying, like being more interactive and social now. So I'm like, it helps. You know what I'm saying? It definitely helps. Not always sheltering your kids and not always being in front of your kids and guiding them everywhere. Sometimes you got to let them run in the field and get a few scars, man. You know what I'm saying? To help them learn. So I thought that was a great episode for that. That's followed up by the crocodile episode, which it was cool, but I didn't really get into it. I watched it, of course, but it wasn't all that to me. And then closing out that season is Hang the DJ, which I thought was very interesting, another interesting concept that they came up with. And this episode, basically it was a dating service, right? And the dating service, what it did was it came up with all of these scenarios that you would possibly go through with this other person. And in this scenario, the two people basically would always end up finding each other, but always end up realizing that, or yeah, in the algorithm that they always realized that something wasn't right. So everything was rebelling against what the system was trying to do, which was basically pit them with other people and see if they would just either go off with those other people or eventually say, nah, I gotta go find this person. And that's how it would create the matches. By every time the scenario would rebel, it would create that match. So this episode is pretty much just them in one of these algorithms, and you know what I'm saying, like they meet each other and they have this thing called a coach that tells them when to date, how long they have with this person, um and then it does that until you find quote unquote the one. So I thought that that was an interesting concept too, especially with all of these dating sites and everything else that we have that people are going through. And then we have a nice little hiatus um in the creation of Black Mirror, which is like kind of the to me, I feel like this was the shift over to um like the newer writers and everything else that were creating the show. They were kind of getting away from the people who had it before, because I think they it was like an acquisition from another, what's your name, another production company, and then that's when Netflix started to produce it themselves around season 5, because everything, well, most of the episodes in these first like 4 seasons are British. It's a lot of British actors and actresses and stuff. So the most infamous episode of this is Striking Vipers. Um, and it's two best friends who, they grew up together and everything else. They didn't have the same time because now they're adults, they got families, so on and so forth. And so the only time they really get to spend with each other is when they play the video game. Like all men do. You really don't get a chance to hang out with your boys that much, or you move to another state, whatever. So you hop on the game, PlayStation or Xbox or PC, you put your headset on, and you chat it up with your friends, play the game, play 2K, Call of Duty, so on, whatever. Well, this game gets a little bit different because it's a neural link, and you basically play the game with your mind, and they play in this fighting game. And in this fighting game, they find out that you can have sexual relations with each other. And yeah, instead of playing the fighting game, they wasn't fighting, they was fucking. And
and, and
this
the
is like
weird,
this is like Brokeback Mountain 2040.
but this is the crazy part about it though, and see, and this is what made it so weird. And I remember when people was talking about this
Hmm.
when this episode first aired, because they was like, okay, right? They was like, and it's kind of like what I'm gonna combo this with something that Andrew Schultz said. By the way, congratulations on the baby. I
Oh
saw that.
yeah, congratulations to
Um,
Sochi, man.
but like, so I see what you're saying there. But for the people who may have not or don't remember this episode, was like, so both of the friends, both of them are guys, but in the game, one is a guy and one is a girl.
Right.
And so, like you said, they started having sexual relations in the game, but the thing is, one of them is seeing a girl and one is playing a girl. And then they
Right.
got in front of each other and they was like they tried to kiss each other. It was like, yo, like, okay, we ain't gay. Like we don't like each other like that, but we only like each other like in the game, but we're not in each other's bodies.
Yeah.
And I remember something that Andrew Schultz said one time, and he was like, yo, he was like, if you think about it, he was like something that's I forget how he worded it, but he was just like, yo, he said it might be kind of dope being with like you a guy and being with a transgender girl, because he was like, think about it. He was like, y'all can sit there and watch the game together. He
I remember this.
you remember that? He was like, yo, you can watch the game together. He said, y'all
You
can
get all
chill.
the qualities of a dude, but it's with a chick.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, Andrew fucking sick. I was
Yes.
like,
A
yeah,
comedian at heart for sure.
yeah. But like, but then he kind of had you like when he was saying it, it's like,
Yeah.
damn, now I can see why the people who like to go that route. I can see how you fuck with that a little
Man,
bit.
just find you a girl that likes sports. That's all you gotta do. If it's that deep, just find you a girl that likes sports, man. You know what I'm saying?
But no,
You don't have to force yourself to like somebody that you're not sure if you like. Like I can see if you're okay with that just initially, right? And then like
yeah.
that's a plus. But like for somebody to be like, man, I don't like this bitch. She don't like basketball. I'm gonna go. That's crazy. First and foremost, you doing this person a disservice because this person may really like you, but you don't really fuck with that person like that. You just fuck with this person because you can do all the cool shit together and still get something at the end of the night. Just find you somebody that's compatible and that you really into. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's crazy, man. Don't do that person that way. You breaking hearts for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. But now, like, but yeah, I see what you're saying by calling it,
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountain 2040 or whatever you called
Yeah.
it. But then at the same
Because I
time, it
mean
was just
it
like,
was kind of like the same storyline, right?
I mean, in a,
Because
well,
one of them
that's
was
the
in a relationship.
yeah, the one that was in a relationship. He
Was
was
married?
the guy. He was married, and she was about
Yeah.
to have a baby, and he
Yeah.
was the guy. But his friend. Now, if it's not a game of who's gayer, but
Right.
the one that's in the girl body is seeing a dude,
Right.
and you're a dude. So it's like
Well,
Anthony
see, to
Mackie.
me, the weird thing wasn't the weird thing wasn't whether they was gay or not. That wasn't the thing. The thing is, how did you play this game and get to the point that y'all fucking? That's the
Yeah,
weird thing.
I don't even remember how
This
it
was a
even got
fighting
there.
game. That's what's up. But this was a fighting game, though. Like this
No,
wasn't like The
well,
Sims. This shit was like Street Fighter.
it's from what I remember was I think that like when they were like hitting each other, they could feel it.
Right.
So I guess they just kind of got to the point like, well, if you can feel that, I
Nah.
wonder if you can feel
Nah.
this.
You're not gonna you we not that's not even coursing through my mind playing a game like that. First and foremost. Yeah, and I can see how it's awkward when they together because these two are the only two that know what the fuck is going on. So meanwhile, your girl tripping, she ain't giving you none, or she can't give you none because she just had a baby. Meanwhile, you hitting your best friend virtually. You know what I'm saying? You like shit, what's up, man? We in real life. Like, do we continue this in real life or yeah, it get confusing. You can't do shit like that.
Yeah, that was wild. That was some
But
wild
no,
shit.
I that's why I said this shit was like Brokeback Mountain 2040, bro, because it was like to me, it was the same thing, right? Like this guy's in a marriage, and then somehow they come together and I don't know, find out the video game can get you off, which is weird as fuck to me. I don't know, man. It just because I know a lot of people at the time were saying it ruined video games for them. And it didn't ruin video games for me. It was just like, who the hell is thinking? Like, if I'm playing Street Fighter, I'm trying to like uppercut you and do all this other shit. What got you to the point to where you was like, yo, you punched me for real, and it felt like a punch. I wonder if like me and my friends, we not like going to jack each other off. I'm kicking you in the nuts. Did you feel that? Like that's
Yeah.
the shit that I'm on. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to grab your meat. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that was
wild,
wild.
bro. That's wild. So then it goes to Smithereens where this it was like a terrorist group or something. They was boycotting the company, and this guy was going to kill one of the members of the company because something had happened to his family or whatever. He ended up not making it. Um, and then the last episode was Rachel, Jack, and Ashley too, which was basically like the Megan thing that the Megan movie
Yeah.
that had came out. But it wasn't like murder or whatever. It was just this obsessed fan who wanted to be like with this star or whatever. It ended up basically getting a star, but it was through like a doll or whatever, a AI doll or whatever. Um, And then the last season, which was the one that had got the most backlash. Well, not backlash. What would you call it? Most criticism.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that better? Yeah.
yeah.
So the most criticism was season 6. It started off with Joan is awful, which yeah, I felt like
The-
it was
the-
mid. The only thing that got it to mid for me was Selma Hayek was in it.
yeah, but the concept of it was like I felt like the Joan is awful kind of took it back to the origins of
Mm-hmm.
what this shit was, and what I mean by that was just the fact of like just imagine if your life was being played out to where you was watching it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And it's just like I felt like they went back to some of the futuristic shit that they had began the show about. You know, because
Mm-hmm.
it was just like where like in this case where Joan was having an affair with somebody, and then they're watching this show like, damn man, that look just like you, and then the
Yeah.
shit is playing out, and then your husband catch on to that shit like, wait a minute, like,
Yeah. Like, bitch,
like,
it's you.
like,
Bitch,
yeah,
it's
like,
you. They
who
taking
is
your
this
life.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. So yeah, it to me honestly, this was probably out of this season might have been the best one. And like you
Yeah.
said, but
Yeah.
this whole season was mid. But to
Well,
me personally,
wait a minute. I don't know. I don't know if this is the best one. Let's go down this list, right?
okay.
So the next episode is Lock Henry. They go to it's this couple, they doing a documentary or whatever. They go to this small town and they uncover this secret about these older people or this older couple who basically was like murdering people in the town and shit. Um, that was cool, but it would to me it didn't feel Black Mirrorish.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I thought it was like out of touch for Black Mirror. It didn't like kind of fit the theme of that we've seen over the years, right?
Yeah.
Um, Beyond the Sea, um, was weird to me because that's the one with like the clone or whatever with the dude in space and the dude on Earth or some shit like that. Um, and that was that. I mean
At
that.
least this one was Black Mirror ish though.
Yeah, it was, but then again, it was just like it was too dull for me. It was drawn out. It seemed like super drawn out. Um, and for that one to be one of actually the longest episode, I believe. Yeah, that was the longest episode. I was like, yeah, I could have did. They could have did without that one. Um, Let me see. Maisie Day was another one that was outside of the realm of Black Mirror. Um, because it's about paparazzi. This one chick, she's trying to figure out, you know, or no, uh she gets wind of one of the celebrities. She takes pictures of him, finds out that he's having an affair and he's secretly gay. And they trying to cover the story up or whatever and not let her get the story out. And then she basically like gets fired or some shit like that. Then she gets a hit from one of the people she used to work with about one of these superstars who's going on like a rehab retreat or some shit like that, only to find out that the rehab retreat is not a rehab retreat. It's like this shit where they locking her up because the bitch is a werewolf.
Yeah, that was crazy. That shit came out of nowhere.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, what the fuck does this have to do with Black Mirror, bro? I didn't understand that at all. Like it didn't fit nothing. This was some shit that like was supposed to be in the Guillermo del Toro series or something. So that one I was just like, nah, we could kind of toss that one. But Demon 79. Now, this was not Black Mirrorish either, but this was my favorite episode out of all of them. So a young girl in 1979 is very, very passive. And like people are stepping over, walking over all the time, talking to her crazy, bullying her, stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? Like at work, the boss is making her do shit, you know what I'm saying, and letting other people, get away with shit. she's like a pushover
Yeah, but that boss was
until
racist as fuck.
yeah, man. Um, but she meets this guy who we find out later is a demon, and he's like, "Yo, my job is to get you to basically do what I tell you to, and if you don't, it's going to be the apocalypse. And this is my last chance because I messed up a couple times. So if you go through with this, everything gonna be cool. But if you don't, I'm telling you now, ain't nobody making it out this motherfucker." And so he gives her a glimpse of what could be. She look out the window, everything on goddamn fire, shit blowing up, people dying, getting ate by hellhounds, all kind of wild shit. So she basically goes on this killing spree. And in the midst of going on this killing spree, this detective is catching on to her and he locks her up and stops her from one of the murders that she's supposed to commit. And yeah, all hell broke loose, literally. And I was like,
Literally.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I fucked with that episode. I thought, to me, I thought that was the best episode because of the actor. Like, I don't know who she is, but she did like a great fucking job in this episode because she had the look. You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
had the personality for it. It was just like you can see her as somebody who is living, you know what I'm saying, this type of life. Like when she was sitting there at the store and the lady was saying something to her and she stopped and then she just took her head and started beating the shit into the thing. It was like wee,
Yeah.
wee, wee. I was like, this shit is fun. I fucked with Demon 79. I thought that one to me was the best one. And of course that ended the season, but I thought that one was the best one. But season 6, it seemed like they wanted to just put something out for Black Mirror,
Hmm.
and I think that because of um all of the press and all of the attention that Striking Vipers had got the season before that, I think that was the thing. Like, yo, if we can recreate something like that, then we can get this back on the road. So hopefully, I'm hoping that they come out with a 7 and they get back into the roots of Black Mirror with the technology and you know what I'm saying, everything
Hmm.
like that. But I don't know, man. I don't this one looking kind of bleak. Season 6 kind of got me like, I
Yeah,
think they kind of, fell off with that one.
I agree 100%, man. It's not the same no more. Like you said, it's like when they got with the new writers, they hit on the Vipers one,
Hmm.
but you know, it's just like that feel just isn't there anymore.
Right.
And I don't know if I mean honestly, it just seems like they're running out of ideas. Which man, you talked about this. This is why we're seeing a lot of remakes and things like that. Is
Hmm.
because the writing isn't what it was. The creativeness isn't what it was. So I just think that they got to find a way to get back there, man. I don't know if the strike is gonna help,
Yeah.
but I guess we'll see.
Well,
But
this is the thing though, right? Like, so if you watch, I think it's like seasons 1 through 3. The genius of these episodes in this whole like 3 seasons is they would have like callbacks to certain episodes, or they would just like reuse technology from other episodes, right? So like on the 15 million what's your name, the 15 million bits or whatever that one was, where you know what I'm saying, like they would have to go do the audition and then one of the 3 people pick them to come, you know what I'm saying, be up under them. The song that the girl sung to audition for was in an episode later on in like season 2 or some shit like that. But it was just playing on the radio. It didn't like wasn't nobody singing it. It was just they didn't say her name or nothing. It was just a song that was playing on the radio. But it was a callback to, you know what I'm saying, that episode. Um and then what was it? It's like it's a bunch of different ones. I know like the Black History Museum one that they had with oh, what's her name? She plays Shuri in the new Black Panther or whatever. Letitia James. I think that's her name, Letitia James. She was in the episode with like the Black History, or not the Black History Museum. It was
It is
the
Black Mystery.
criminal. No, it was the Criminal Museum.
I just saw it said Black Museum.
It might, you know what? It might have been.
I think it did say Black Museum.
Let me read. Let me relook. Let me relook. Because that was
Yeah, Black Museum. It was season 4, 6 episodes.
4. Okay. So that one, right? Oh, we skipped over. No, I didn't finish season 4. I'm sorry. But the Black Museum, right? Um, where she find like she goes to the museum, uh, and basically dude is showing her all of the shits in the exhibit, which are like all the things that was in the previous seasons. Like
Hmm.
everything was in the previous seasons. They all had different stories, of course, but everything was all like all in the different seasons. And then in the end, they had this attraction where you can electrocute a criminal or whatever, which happened to be the girl's dad. And then she switched out they thing. They what's her name? Mm. She switched out they consciousness or whatever. So then the
Oh,
museum dude ended up being in the electric chair, except her dad, right? Um, and then the story before that was Metalhead, which was crazy because it's about this lady that's on the run from like the government, or somebody's chasing her, and she's on the run from these two robot dogs, but the robot dogs look like the robot dogs that they got out now, like the exact same way.
oh
So I was
yeah.
like, that shit is crazy. And then it's another episode that I missed too, about the girl who I think she died. Which one is that? She it's a girl who dies, and basically her husband takes her consciousness and puts it in his. And it might be in the Black Museum episode, because I think that was with the teddy bear. But basically, um, yeah, it is in the Black Museum. But one of the stories of the Black Museum was his wife had died, and his daughter was like younger, and so he had implanted her consciousness in his, so she would still be able to, you know what I'm saying, like watch her daughter grow up and everything else. But he was able to control like when she could see stuff, when he, you know what I'm saying, when she couldn't. And so after a while, like she was like trying to control him and shit, like so certain shit would happen, and like she would be in his mind like, now you know we don't give her such and such and such. So after a while he was just like, hey, like motherfucker, I'm doing this for you, this ain't, you can't tell me what to do, this me. So they take out the consciousness, put it in the teddy bear or whatever, and that was the reason that the teddy bear was there. It was a good part of the episode though. Great
Yeah.
story. I like that one too. But it was like, that's what I'm saying. Like it's so many different stories, and so many different ways that they was like bringing back certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the Neuralink thing, with the thing that they was putting on the side of their head and striking vipers, that was in the USS Callister, and that was in San Junipero. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like it's ways that you can continue to tell like different stories, but still use the same shit and still keep it Black Mirror at the end of the day. Like I just think that they got lazy and was like, man, we just gotta put something out.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
agree with you.
All right, man. So real quick, we don't really got a fire flame for this one.
Nah.
Because we actually did like all the seasons, the whole series. So just real quick, what was your favorite season?
Season.
Yeah.
Let me see. As a whole, um, my favorite season would probably be because see the thing is, man, like a lot of it is kind of scattered. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Where it's like I like, an episode here, 2 episodes here. But if I had to say a season, I would go. Honestly, it might be one.
Mm. That's not bad.
Um, yeah. If I gotta go with the season, it
Mm-hmm.
would probably be one. I know it was short. It was only 3, but man, Black Mirror had a strong
Yeah,
start.
that was a strong three, bro.
Like the start was just like they hit that shit out the park with the
Yeah,
start, man. And those 3 episodes, man, all 3 of them slap because like once you look at some of the other ones, it's like well 2 of them slap, the other one was cool. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So if I'm
yeah.
looking at it as a whole, I gotta go season 1.
Man, I gotta go season four. I gotta go season four. As a collective, season four to me was like peak Black Mirror. You had everything in this season was on theme, right? USS Callister, you know what I'm saying? On theme with the Neuralink thing. Archangel, you know what I'm saying, with the kid thing. That was on point. Crocodile was on point. You know what I'm saying? They was using the memories like in the history of you thing. That you know what I'm saying? Like just using they had that on there. Hang the DJ with the dating thing, the metalhead thing with the robot dogs, and then the Black Museum was like boom. Like I mean, every to me, I felt like every episode hit with something. And it stayed in the theme of what Black Mirror is, you know what I'm saying? Like just the roots of it, as far as just how technology is so entrenched in our lives and everything else. Like I was like, yeah, season four for me. Season four for sure.
Okay, I ain't mad at that though.
Definitely, man. Let's go ahead and get into the coming soon, bro.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right, man. So next episode we have is gonna be a very special episode. This is gonna be super fun. You know what I'm saying? We are going to take a detour on what we usually do. Usually we review, movies and television shows, but this time we're gonna have a little bit of fun. We are going to recast some movies. We're gonna find some movies that we like. We're gonna rattle off the cast and we're gonna talk about who we think would have possibly been um a better fit for some of these movies, or at least some of the roles in the movies, right? Um, I'm really
Or
excited about doing this.
yeah,
What's up?
or even nobody else could have played this part.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Cause there's some roles where you got that one, but then everybody else is like, could deal without that motherfucker. So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's gonna be a fun episode, man. You know what I'm saying? We get a chance to go through some movies that we probably haven't, covered or maybe some that we did that, we would have wanted to see somebody else in. So that next episode is gonna be super dope. Y'all stay tuned for that one. And get ready, man. Now if you haven't watched Black Mirror in a while, or if you are one of the people who never watched Black Mirror, make sure you get on Netflix, get a chance, and check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. But before we get into anything else, we definitely want to know from you guys what was your favorite season. And the best way to be able to let us know that is by hitting us up on socials. You can do that by going on Instagram at ViewAnonPod. You can hit us up on Facebook and join the VA Pod Watch group. You can also um, hit us up on YouTube under the comments. Excuse me, leave your comment under the episode. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how you felt. And last but not least, please make sure you subscribe to our subscription episodes. We got a couple in the tuck. We got some more on the way. So please make sure you check that out. All the links for everything is in the description. Our subscription is $2.99 a month. So uh it would really help if you would, click that link and support us, so we can continue to bring you this great content. And if you'd like to follow me personally, you can follow me on X or Twitter at Scoots Bronson. Link tree in the bio. You can follow me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on X at 28 minutes or less pod. That is just on IG. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. It is on all major platforms. Last episode is still episode 144. Cocaine Cowboys 2, Griselda and Charles. So go check that out. And that's all I got, man.
Cool, man. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. All your support is greatly appreciated. Remember, if you are on YouTube, like, subscribe, share. If you are listening on Spotify or any other podcast platform, make sure you hit that follow/subscribe button. And also share with a friend. And hey man, until the next episode, like they say in Hollywood,
That's a wrap.
Cut.